Hi, my name is Burandts, and this is my Sirris equipped Surron Ultra Bee.
Kinley, I've put you through the ringer since you were about this tall on a dirt bike. So tell everybody, what's your favorite kind of riding?
I like the trails better than the track.
So single track trails, two track trails, what's your favorite?
I like the, I don't want to say hard because our definition of hard is probably different than a lot of people's. So the easier single tracks for us.
If people only knew what your definition of an easy single track is. Okay, let's talk about this. You grew up on small bikes, and then the bike you really loved is your Cowie, right? You started on a KLX 110 and then a KLX 140, but for me as a dad, the biggest jump in your ability was last year with your first year on a Surron Ultra Bee. Tell us about what you liked and didn't like about riding the Surron last year.
Well, first of all, you forced me on the Surron. I was on the Cowie and I didn't want to do electric. I really didn't, but honestly, when I switched, I just felt like I was so much more comfortable on it. Like, concerning I was like 50 pounds when I got put on there. Mm-hmm. And it was just so much easier for me to control the bike, and like it taught me so much more about how to like maneuver things.
The biggest thing I noticed was instead of focusing on a clutch and trying to like carry momentum on a bike that didn't build a lot of horsepower at our high elevation that we ride, is that you could focus more on the terrain versus the bike. But what was the biggest thing that you struggled with on your Surron last year?
It was too tall for me, like tippy-toeing around rocks, and it wasn't working. That's what like I really noticed when I first switched to my Surron. Instantly,
I knew again for this year to gain more confidence, we needed you to be more comfortable on the bike. And so this is pretty awesome that Sirris basically like built this whole setup essentially for riders just like you. So tell us about your first experience with the lowered bike.
Well, the first thing I really noticed was like obviously how much easier it was to get on and off the bike, because that's something I really struggle with. I mean, when I had my taller Cowie, I had to step on the peg and swing on it as soon as I started to go, and like it's just so much easier to like actually get on it how you're supposed to.
That for sure helps, but again, as I keep pushing you and getting you into more harder and more technical terrain, being able to put a foot down without having to like really reach for it, that is something that I've noticed has been huge. So we got the ride height of the bike correct. You way more confident and comfortable in single track and more technical terrain. What was the next big difference over your stock Surron that you were riding?
I mean, the second like biggest difference that I like immediately realized was my suspension. Like, I mean, on my stock I didn't realize how bad it was until I got something that was like insanely good. You know?
Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch you, when I'm riding behind you now, watch you picking lines differently. Whereas on your stock bike, you were like slower turning around the rocks, and now you're just driving over them because you can. That's got to feel pretty cool when you're riding, huh?
It does. I mean, and it just opens like a whole new variety for me of riding, because like I can do so much harder things that like I would say hell no to on my other bike. And it's so cool to me that I can like do new stuff now.
The Surron is an absolute weapon when it comes to fun out in the woods on two track, single track stuff. And like my daughter here, to instill more confidence, Sirris has you covered with not only like far superior suspension, but now with the option to lower the suspension on the stock bike, which is key. So check them out on their website. And in the meantime, we're going riding.